Hello, welcome to Imola, the home of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Is it still sponsored by Made in Italy?
Made in Italy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there we go, Made in Italy. Anyway, we're here, soaking up a bit of the afternoon sun. Been a busy media day. You might be able to hear a bit of music in the background, for which we apologise. It's dreadful, but nothing we can do about that. We are here to talk about the media day and everything that was discussed. Ahead of the race weekend, plenty to get stuck into. Phil, shall we start?
Yeah, when you say Imola first European race, you say upgrades. Traditionally, people bring a lot of upgrades.
That's not a song, is it?
What is?
It's not a song. It should be.
It should be.
No one says Imola upgrades.
I don't know.
They could do.
You have a go with that. I'll leave that to you.
No, go on, go for it. Sorry, I've stopped your flow.
No, it is a bit of a cliche that, we go to Europe, it's all about upgrades, and it is a cliche because there's a ring of truth.
It's usually Barcelona, isn't it? That's usually the first race that we come to in Europe, but with the calendar now being swapped around, we're coming here for potentially the last time. This is the last time that it's on the calendar, not due to be here for 26, but sorry, I've interrupted.
No, we'll get to Barcelona later on because that's kind of significant still. But yeah, I think bar Williams, pretty much every team is bringing upgrades here, some big, some small. So I guess if you were to use boxing terms, like the main card, the main event here is Red Bull versus McLaren. We saw in Miami, certainly McLaren looking extremely dominant again in race trim, but Max still getting pole. So there's that dynamic between, how quick is a McLaren really versus the Red Bull over one lap?
Yeah.
And what can they do?
Do you think that Red Bull are concerned about this McLaren dominance? I mean, it is ironic because Red Bull dominated for so many years in a row. Do you think that they've got a concern that they'll ever catch McLaren this season? I know you mentioned in qualifying, but race pace is obviously something different.
So I put that to Max Verstappen today because Helmut Marko said in Miami that it was really depressing just to see the race pace difference between the two. And so I asked Max, do you agree and do you expect a bit more? Can you catch up? And he said, if you're almost 0.8 a lap slower on race trim on some certain circuits, you're not going to find that just like that. So it's clear that they haven't really found a way to get their tyre wear anywhere near what McLaren can do on those kind of circuits.
He won here last year though, didn't he? And that came after Norris's victory in Miami last year, and I remember turning up and it was, can Lando Norris do it again? And he came close, but that was the time that Verstappen did enough.
Yeah, obviously overtaking extremely difficult here, so that also helps. Let's also not forget Pirelli's bringing the C6.
How could we forget?
Tire. Yeah, exactly.
It's one of my favourite subjects.
I know you love your tyres, but
talk us through the C6. What is the C6?
Normally we have 5 compounds, C1 the hardest, down to C5 the softest. But we've seen quite a few one-stop races where there's almost no degradation and therefore no strategy. So Pirelli have come up with the C6, which is a step softer than the C5, so the softest compound available. And they are going to roll that out at street circuits like Monaco.
Yeah.
But they're also doing it here. Because
this is a test for Monaco, isn't it? Because we've got some changes to come into Monaco with mandatory pit stops.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is where they're trying that tyre.
Yeah, trying the tyre, trying the pit stop thing in Monaco, which we'll get to later on, because I think that will probably open up a can of worms as well.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a shame to see Imola disappear probably after this year. At the same time, it's not a circuit that delivers thrilling racing always.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we're going off your topic here, but obviously Madrid's due to come in next year, and we now know that the actual development of that track is some way behind schedule where they'd like to have been. It's not inconceivable that there is still a potential that this could retain its place on the calendar, or indeed Barcelona, which has come in a couple of races time.
Yeah, but potentially. I mean, Barcelona is on the calendar next year, so they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Imola is one of those races where, have they done enough to be sort of a backup? Spa is becoming a rotational race. Can Imola become that? Can Barcelona become that? But probably yes. I would say Barcelona has a bigger chance than Imola at this stage, but it is possible. And you never know, because F1 has made noises about going to Southeast Asia, Africa potentially, but that still needs to materialize. And if it doesn't, then these circuits are going to have to be ready to step up.
We're in Ferrari heartland. This is Lewis Hamilton's first race for Ferrari in Italy. How do you think that's going to be impacting on him? Is it going to be weighing on his mind, or is he going to embrace the challenge? How do you think that he's going to reflect on and approach this weekend?
Well, I think you know Lewis better than me probably, but I would say it probably energizes him because he's always sort of fed off the energy from the fans. I know it's a bit of a shtick that he has, always saying hello to the fans and best fans ever, that kind of stuff. But it does mean a lot about him.
Are these the best fans? Will they be the best fans ever?
We'll find out on Sunday. But no, he does mean that.
Yeah, I think he does feed off energy, doesn't he? I think that, Silverstone last year, that win, the emotion that it brought, I think that is very much, Lewis Hamilton in a nutshell. And I think that he will be motivated more so here than perhaps anywhere else at this moment in time of his career, because he's determined to put in a good performance and to stop the rot and start turning the tide in his favour. Even though his Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc has not had it completely easy either. No. So
and motivation doesn't drive a car. I mean,
this is true.
Ferrari is bringing some upgrades, but probably not as massive as they have been advertised before. It's probably not going to change the world for anybody. But as Fred Vasseur said, the team principal, we can't afford to give up on this season because we're Ferrari. And what kind of message does that send to the factory with 1,000 people if you say, now we should just focus on 26? They are going to keep pushing with these upgrades, at least until the summer, you would say.
I want to ask you about Franco Colapinto.
Yeah.
His pictures around here. Interestingly, today is usually quiet. This is very quiet, but this is because there's no fans here today. Action starts on Friday. There's still quite a lot of Argentinian flags, Argentine flags, and football strips, and it's quite incredible the support that he has amassed in such a short space of time.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very Argentinian thing. I lived there for a while, so I've had some first-hand experience. Hugely passionate people, especially celebrating their sports heroes. Where we all know the Lionel Messi effect, but it goes through and crosses over into other sports as well. And having not had an F1 driver for such a long time, we saw last year the reaction to him. Out of left field, really coming in at Williams, and it's been very intense. Jack Doohan got that seat. Got a lot of flack on social media.
He got 6 races.
Yeah, but also got a lot of flack on social media from Argentinian fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there is a small minority, I have to stress that, but that has sort of crossed into a more toxic territory. So
I think all eyes are going to be obviously on Colapinto, but also Alpine as well. Oliver Oakes leaving the team, being led by Flavio Briatore, but in a sort of a different capacity.
Yeah.
You could explain about that for us.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting because obviously Ollie Oakes and Flavio were leading the team together. Ollie as a de facto official team principal, employee of the team. Flavio more as a sort of personal executive advisor to Luca De Meo, the Renault CEO, and therefore sort of co-running the team with Ollie. You can argue who's had the most say. Yes. They always maintain they were joined at the hip. But regardless, Flavio is not an employee still. He will remain an advisor, which also means that as far as the FIA's just administration goes, he can't be sort of the de facto team representative. In this case, the sort of designated person from the FIA's point of view is Dave Greenwood. He is a racing director. He's now the de facto team representative, not the team principal. They don't have one at the moment. And we'll see if they will get one. It's
a really interesting dynamic, isn't it? What's happening at Alpine, and lots of people saying that they've been too quick to replace Doohan, and obviously Oakes stepping back. It is a very confusing picture, but also very difficult for Colapinto to coming in this weekend.
Yeah, it is. So it is. He seems pretty relaxed about it. Obviously, it's not the first time he's jumping in at short notice into the deep end. Did really well at Williams, certainly in the first couple of races. Then the car became less competitive. He had some crashes, but he seems to be in a good place. He's at, I believe, at least 2, probably 3 TPC tests with an older Alpine tons of simulator work as a reserve driver. He seems to be up for the challenge. And I think, let's not forget, yes, there is some chaos at Alpine, but at the same time, underneath the surface, there is a team working hard on actually improving the car quite a lot. If you saw where they were last year, they did make steps. So, they should be in the mix going forward for points, and it's up to Franco to be close to Pierre Gasly.
Cool. Phil, we have got to head off. We are at the end of our time here.
Yep, we're going to find some pizza.
Let's go and find some pizza. Be sure to check out all the news from this F1 weekend at motorsport.com.